Hey guys, and welcome to another video. This video has a more serious tone than some of my other videos, but I wanted to make some kind of video about it because I've just been feeling like I can't really do very much to help with anything that's been going on in 2020. So I decided to make the State of 2020 video to just kind of recap what's going on. I know that a lot of people don't need a recap. I mean, we're all living this, but and just talk about, I don't know, whatever comes to my mind, like ways I've been dealing with it, ways other people have been dealing with it, just informing about it, some things you might not know. Yeah, so I just felt like I needed to do something, even if this isn't very helpful since we're all living it. So we all probably know everything there is to know about it, and I'm not really telling you anything new, but so I was going to be going through the months and just kind of recapping what's going on. So in January, everybody was optimistic and everything, like most Januaries, like this will be my year and stuff. Like now it seems kind of ironic, like people saying like this will be my year, and 2020 is for most people, at least I can say for my generation, probably the worst year we've ever had. And there's just so much going on. But there were a lot of fresh memes, a lot of new memes in January, including World War III memes, because there were some not great things going on with some countries, and it looked like that might be more than a meme. But as long as everybody was still smart about it, we figured, there wouldn't be a World War III. There wasn't. But, that wasn't really anything serious to deal with. It was just like a meme, a joke, that kind of thing. It wasn't really anything serious. Till February. In February, there were a lot of fires in Australia. And a lot of people like reached out to help, whether it be actually going to Australia and helping our people that live in Australia, helping out with that, or sending support or donating for that. At least what I saw, there were mostly positive responses to that. And possibly the virus started in China or even before that, because we're not really sure what information or how accurate it was that we got from them with that. And then, of course, as everyone knows, in March, everything started coming to a head, and mostly China and America and pretty much the entire world started to say that there was a mandatory quarantine for everyone, and everybody's like, yeah, well, it can't get much worse, or at least the people I was around are like, yeah, this can't get much worse. Once this blows over, we can get back to things as normal, everything. Schools are canceled. There are orders to stay inside with everything with quarantine. Where I live, not many people took it that seriously, but it just depended. Some people were taking it way too serious and getting way uptight about it. Like, if you sneeze at a grocery store during allergy season, like people freak out on you and be like, why are you in public, but some people weren't taking it seriously at all and still going about their normal daily life, still having birthday parties, still doing things, and that didn't really help flatten the curve, which is what we were ultimately going for in March. Honestly, I'm gonna say quarantine wasn't very hard for me personally because I am fine with staying inside. I am fine with not really getting much social interaction. I have a living family to stay with most of the time. I mean, we joke around and stuff, but and I just video called with my friends and things. I watched a lot of TV shows. My friends were bugging me to get into like Stranger Things and things like that. I'm sure that's how a lot of people dealt with it, is watching a lot of shows and stuff. I found online school was easier for some classes than others. Math was harder online and everything like that. I'm sure other students have had similar experiences. My brother came home from college, which was nice, but not at the same time. Siblings. But I knew a few people who contracted the coronavirus, none of which died, which is amazing. None of them were like older people, and I follow a YouTuber who got the coronavirus. None of them were super serious cases or anything like that. But yeah, so March is when it all started, but of course in April, it's kept ongoing. Introverts thrived because they had the best excuses to not go anywhere. You get to stay home and actually have an excuse to stay home. Be like, oh yeah, I can't go. Quarantine, coronavirus, pretty bad. Parodies relating to the coronavirus abound. There are so many. I have a playlist that I'll link at the end of the video, songs about the coronavirus. Only the best are picked. Life is starting to look like, oh man, when are we going to get out of this? Like, people are setting dates, but then they set the dates back for getting back to normal and everything like that. It's just like not looking that great. And then, of course, in May, last month, people have online graduations celebrating the graduating class. They don't really get to have the graduation parties and everything. But it's quarantine's starting to like peter out and a little bit. Some places have like lifted quarantine completely or almost completely. But where I live, it is still like we're starting to lift, but it's still there. So it looks like July we're gonna start here, like starting to get back into the normal swing of things. But it looks like the curve is flattening. We're starting to beat this thing, and hopefully by next year we will have a vaccination for it. And I'm hoping, my guess is just gonna be something like the flu or something like that again. But of course, in May, we had the terrible police brutality, and which caused riots and protests. Protests I completely support as long as they're peaceful. But there are many riots and looting going on in many places. Some places are taking a more peaceful approach. Some people are taking more of a peaceful approach, and others are taking more of a violent approach. I, of course, support the peaceful approaches that you can take, which brings us to the final slide. I'm going to put links in the description for ways you can donate, ways you can speak out by signing petitions, and even calling a certain number and talking about it, and ways to find protests near you. And there's also going to be some links with the good news about what's going on, such as police officers kneeling with protesters and joining with protesters marching. Of course, there are police out there who are not doing the right thing about this, but I like to think that most of the police force are still doing the right thing about this, and they want to see peace because that's their job. And with this whole virus thing letting up, I'm hoping that the virus will let up and that everything will come to peace. Everyone will be able to, there'll be justice for Floyd, and there will just be no more sickness and just peace over everything, and that we will be able to get on with the second half of the year back to as much normal as we can get back to, because I don't think anything's going to get completely back to normal. Like, I'm sure there's going to be people who are still paranoid about the virus. I'm sure there's still going to be there's still going to be the violence and rioting and everything. But I'm hoping everything can get back to normal as much as it can soon, because we're starting to get to the middle of the year, and so far the year has been not ideal, but it looks like places are starting to open up again and things are starting to look up. But it just seems like every month there's something that is like beating down on us, and there's just something going wrong. So let's hope that going into June will be our first month of nothing going wrong in the world in general, everything being okay as much as it can be. There'll be justice, there'll be health and prosperity going into June and July and the rest of the year. And kind of cliche, but once 2020 is over, or this whole crisis is over, let's look forward to 2021. And even with the cliches, let's say 2021 will be our year, because knock on wood, it can't be much worse than 2020. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you on the flip side. Oh, yes, I am also using a slideshow, because it's easy. Okay, bye.